Warzone 1 versus Warzone 2 TTK. How fast is it? Medium/long range time to kill in Warzone 2 is about the same. However, close range TTK in Warzone 2 is significantly faster. One proposal I had: really make the multipliers dog for pistols and SMGs unless you're hitting neck, head, or upper torso, because then the practical TTK close range will go down a lot. Activision devs do not play their own game.
3,000 devs can't figure out how to add a reconnect feature to a AAA title, I guess. I don't know.
Because Infinity Ward doesn't tell their consumers anything.
Maybe that'll take some of the sweats away from Shoot House.
You can cope about that for sure.
Thanks for tweeting, at least. Thanks for doing more than Infinity Ward has done. They just keep tweeting about the soccer bundles in the store.
Things that are bad. We got a couple words. Why don't you kick it off, Tanner?
This is going to be a longer section than the first part you guys heard.
Change it, obviously, of course. We are absolutely fucking live. We're working today. We are at the office.
God, I wish we had an office.
Yeah, that'd be, well, yeah.
Wouldn't that be cool?
I would sexually harass you. What do you think? What are your thoughts on that?
I wouldn't care. It'd be nice, though. I didn't used to think that I'd ever give a... Not that, but the office part would be cool to have at some point. We never will, because you guys don't like us enough to give us tens of thousands of dollars every month. Yeah, it'd be cool. Dope. It'd be different.
It would put
like a whole setup there.
A state of mind. That's like what the self-help books will say. Is like, if you're if you work from home or whatever, have like an actual office where you do shit, and then only be in there when you're working, so that you're like, exactly. So if we had one, we could like, all right, we're in work mode,
We could get one in the middle of our two states and just meet halfway every time we have to do a pod.
We could, yeah. How much is a private jet to from? We'd have to look into that.
Yeah, I don't know. We can certainly look into that.
Welcome to the show. Today, we are not talking about intrastate travel. We are talking about Call of Duty, sort of. So welcome to the program, episode 290, Dropshot, a Call of Duty podcast. My name is Casey, also known as Razinon. I am joined, as always, by Tanner with the North Face hoodie on. The northern face, huh? What about the south face?
The North Face hoodie and a giant red pimple on my nose, yeah.
That thing's
God, it hurts. Fuck, it hurts.
It's at least on the outside, right?
It. Yeah, but it's like right on the edge,
I hate those, yeah.
It hurts.
You gotta pop that sucker.
I started tearing up. I did. That's why it's I scratched it. Now it's bleeding. That's probably gonna be a scar forever. I don't care.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah,
you got the North Face hoodie on today?
Inside of your nose, like on the bridge. The worst, dude.
That's worse than giving birth, I've heard.
I would imagine
it's the most painful thing you can experience.
Yeah, it's not great or fun or exciting. I would strongly encourage you to invest in, go on Amazon and get like a pimple pop little kit.
We have those. That little metal thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got those.
It makes it so easy.
They hurt,
especially if you get a pimple that's like kind of small on your forehead and it's all like oily and you like fuck it up and it's hard. There are certain ones you could pop easily with your hands, but certain ones are impossible without the tool.
Yeah.
And the tool is just free and deeply satisfying.
It's not free, but it costs money.
Well, the pop is free once you have the tool.
The pop is
in hand. Yeah.
Free pop.
Free pop. Welcome to the show.
Today
we're talking about Call of Duty.
Pimple podcast.
Not too much to talk about today. So we're going to go a little off the beaten path this fine afternoon and talk about a couple of revelations. But, not much here. Obviously, as we've told you guys, the devs are on holiday break. They're not doing anything, which we will get into. which is, you know, we expected it. We'll put it that way. But again, we still have some other developments elsewhere that do pertain to Call of Duty that I am actually really excited to get into. One thing in particular I find very interesting. So we'll get into that shortly. But first, we have a couple of announcements. Welcome to our new gold patron, Andrew D. An absolute king. Welcome aboard, Andrew, the absolute Patreon. Much appreciated. We also got Nick W. at Damascus, the highest tier available, of course, and the biggest possible Chad. Nick, welcome, buddy. And we appreciate that very much. An absolute Damascus Chad. And we're getting all the tiers today. We got one more patron, a platinum patron. But this boy went straight to annual. He said, you know what? I'm not joining the Patreon. I'm committing to the Patreon. That's what I'm doing. I don't care about the behind the scenes shit. Your guys' lives don't interest me, but everything else does. So I'm going annual platinum. Christopher K. Welcome aboard, buddy. Our new annual platinum patron, getting that nice hefty discount of 12 or 16%. I don't remember which, but it's the most we're allowed to discount annual that Patreon lets us do. So we did that for you guys.
We're nice.
So if you want to save some money and commit to the Patreon, as you obviously should, never missed a Patreon episode, by the way, in, I don't know, over a year. Not once.
True. Not once. We've always put out the
obligations, dude. We meet them. We're professionals. Yeah. Christopher K, thank you very much, brother. You're an absolute king. So thank you to all of our new patrons. Patreon.com/thedropshot. Up to 5 bonus eps a month. Monthly hangouts, Q&A, exclusive patron Q&A, and more. You can check it out at patreon.com/thedropshot. Once again, it is the best way to support the show for you guys, because that's where we offer all of our bonus shit, and for us. So we appreciate all of you new frogs. We also got some new YouTube members. Biggie Smalls re-upping, Kevin J re-upping, Tim W joining, and Dirty Dan re-upping. New friends of the pod. Thank you very much to our new YouTube members. Appreciate that. Boys, now into a couple of announcements. Tanner, what is the last Patreon episode we did? Because I don't remember.
Great question. Have you uploaded all of them? I hope you have.
Did I not?
Warzone Brainstorm.
Now I'm worried, man. Did I?
I don't know. I don't check.
I guess I'll take a look. Did we do
I kind of feel like you didn't.
It's possible.
I kind of feel like you're missing one.
Let me see. Okay, that's 1.
Maybe
2,
they're done.
3, 4, 5. Yeah, we're good. I did them all.
Okay, got it. Nice.
Our last one. Oh yeah, this one was really good. It came out on Monday. We talked about. We did another Warzone brainstorm, and what was interesting about that. So for our last Patreon episode, it was another Warzone brainstorm. It was the second one we've done. And a lot of time with that episode, we spent actually talking about perk packages and what is the best perk package to use and what will be the best perk package to use once they fucking fix the perks that don't work.
If perks ever work, yeah.
For example.
Yep.
Game's been out for almost 3 months, by the way. So cool. Sick. They just learned about this. But we got real deep into it. And one thing I like about the brainstorms, especially once we get started, is like for this one, for example, we started by going over some brainstorm topics we had talked about previously and revisiting things we've actually thought about trying and then talking about if they're worth trying or not. So we changed some opinions, went over those things, and then we talked a lot about the perk packages, which sounds unexciting maybe, but the reason we did that is because it turns out it's looking like we are stuck with perk packages and we won't be able to pick our own perks. So before, we didn't really care because we figured we'd be able to pick our own perks and then we could do a deep dive into what the best perks are. But since you can't do that, and it doesn't look like you'll ever be able to, well, now we have to really dive deeply into which perk package is actually best. And also it kind of depends on what guns you're using. Are you sniping or not, etc. So I thought that was a very productive conversation because it turns out we have to contend with the dog shit perk packages there are and figure out which one's actually the best. And I think we reached pretty much a consensus, but still some things we want to try once like High Alert starts working, for example. What were your thoughts on that absolute bonus episode?
Yeah, I thought that was a banger. Some other things we talked about is like early on, we were really big on the spotter scopes. We kind of touched on that a bit, gave our thoughts if we still think that's worth running or, you know, if we're just using stuns or flashbang, what works best in what situation. I think that was the episode we talked a little bit about optics, right? Like what optics we were running
yes,
still and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I'm still on that choreo enforcer thing, which we'll actually talk about in today's episode a little bit.
Correct.
But yeah, kind of just like the meta with the, you know, with the cheaper guns now and more strongholds and what the strat is now. And here's the strat. It didn't change. You still go for a stronghold right away. The drop strat is still the best strat in the game.
Yes.
Tried and true, tested, proven. The best strat.
Yeah.
The game-winning strat.
Which shouldn't be some big revelation. But that Patreon episode went live on Monday. So if you are a patron or if you're thinking of becoming one, that is live right now. So you can go check that out. I really thought that was a super productive brainstorm episode. I really liked it. So there you go. Other than that, as far as announcements, on Saturday, we are going to be releasing, almost certainly, a Q&A episode that we recorded. Originally, I thought I'd be moving by Saturday. That's not true anymore, but we're still going to put that out on Saturday instead of doing something live. So I'm going to schedule a premiere and do all that shit. And that is because I don't know what else we would do this Saturday except for a live Q&A, which we could do because I'll be here. But then we won't have, like, then we would just be releasing another Q&A later when I'm not here. And I don't want to do 2 Q&A episodes inside of like 2 weeks. So
yeah,
we're just going to put this sucker out because there really is not anything else right now that we care too much to do a Saturday episode on. I have some things, we have some things we want to do for Saturday episodes, like a all about Warzone 2 episode, for example. But we're not there yet. Yeah, the DMZ episode also, we're not there yet. We don't have enough playtime in the game to do either of those things yet. 'Cause especially all about Warzone 2, I really want to get a lot of time in and be super knowledgeable before we do that.
It would be better too to wait until like February when the game is maybe more in a state that it may actually be in 6 months from now. Because I think we're going to have a lot of changes still.
Yes, precisely. So, and then like I want to do another roundtable fairly soon as well. Because we did one roundtable about Warzone 2, but this was super early. So another one would be really good, which I want to do maybe sometime in January even. But all of these things kind of have to wait. I've been busy getting ready to move. Tanner's been out of town. It's been the holidays. It's been a shit show. So we just don't have anything other than those things we want to talk about on Saturday. So we're going to be putting out a Q&A. But that should be good. We'll premiere it again if you guys want to be here live. I'll be watching with you. I watched the last premiere live with
did you?
With chat. Yeah. We had a couple little chatters watching the premiere. Cool. It was cool. Yeah. It was our Patreon gone public.
Dope.
That was fun and exciting. So we'll do that again.
How's your Christmas? What'd you do? Anything?
Oh yeah, we didn't talk Christmas yet, huh?
No, haven't talked Christmas.
Yeah, you're right. God, it feels like it was so long ago. We didn't do shit and it was liberating. I mean, we had dinner, but like that was it. Usually my aunt comes over, but she didn't this year because we thought we would have just moved by now. So she didn't come over. And then also I told my family, the fam, I said, hey, I'm 30 and I'm the youngest one in this entire ordeal. Let's stop doing presents forever. And then everyone was like cool with that. They were like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm down. Let's just not do presents. So I was like, okay, well, in the future, here's what we're going to do. My brother had the idea of we're going to get a keg, which is an excellent idea. Kegs are pretty cheap, and there's a ton of beer in a keg. And my dad got a keg for my brother's birthday this year. And my dad was like, we should do that for Christmas. It was like $120 for like 5 million beers on tap that taste excellent. Like, that would be a good thing to have at Christmas, which is absolutely true. And then get, some chocolate, have a nice dinner, get a couple bottles of wine, but that's all we're going to spend money on. Because, again, we're in our 30s and 40s and 60s. Like, we don't need fucking socks.
I want consumables. That's where I'm at. Give me a consumables.
Exactly.
That is my perfect gift. Yes. Give me a bottle of alcohol that I can finish and throw away and it not take up space in my house in 3 months, Yes. That's what I want.
Consumable, very well put. Consumables are the only presents we did. So yeah, all we did was we had a nice dinner, hung out, and then I went over across the street to Michael's. Michael was over with his entire giant 350 person family. We played some poker. I fucking ran some pockets, and then I came home and slept. Nice, and it was great. How was your Christmas? Your absolute Christmas.
Christmas.
You went to Zion,
Bless
right?
Baby
with
Jesus.
Sierra's family?
Yeah, we went out to Arizona, Scottsdale area. What did we do? We had a nice Christmas. Her stepdad smoked a brisket on his big green egg. That was excellent. Very tasty. Yeah, they were going to do prime rib, and he's like, you know what? Fuck you guys. I have a brisket. I'm going to make that instead. And I was like, excellent. That sounds delicious. Yeah. And I think everyone liked brisket. Maybe better, honestly. It was just different. I think that's the biggest thing. You don't have smoked brisket for Christmas often. At least
that's
not in California or Arizona.
Idea.
Yeah,
God, so we had sounds good.
Brisket, some cream corn, some nice rolls, the green bean casserole. We had the works. I had a lot of wine, a lot of red wine.
Oh, yeah?
A whole lot of red wine, yeah.
Did you get a migraine?
No, not at all.
Good.
I drink, for every glass of wine I drink fucking 32 ounces of water. So I think I think that helps the next day.
Were you paranoid or were you just a thirsty boy?
I just know if I'm drinking a lot to drink a ton of water. And I never feel like shit the next day, really. So that's what I always do. When I'm drinking, I'm also just throwing that water back, Yeah,
that's the play.
But yeah, we got gifts. Sierra's mom especially buys everyone a ton of shit. I mean, Jesus Christ. She must have spent a week wrapping presents. Yeah. For her it is. I mean, she gave us some great stuff. So got some alcohol, little snacks, meat sticks, cheeses, stuff like that. Cool shit.
Meat sticks, huh?
A lot of nice meat sticks. I'm a big meat guy. Matter of fact, I should have one right now.
Is that not beef jerky? What's the difference between beef jerky and a meat stick?
Like a gourmet Slim Jim. Like a good Slim Jim.
Oh, okay.
But, thicker, not as long, those type of things. I don't know what they call them. Meat stick. Beef cylinder. We'll call it that.
Yeah, okay. I've never heard it called
mini Jim.
Meat stick before.
A mini James is what we'll call it. The old
miniature
mini James instead of a Slim Jim. Yeah, miniature James. So got some miniature Jameses. Yeah. I got to go through it all. I don't know. We brought so much shit home though. It was insane.
Nice.
Just the car's packed. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah,
it was real fun. Well, shout out to Christmas, man.
Shout out to Christmas. We hope you guys are still with us. I know a lot of people check out during Christmas, so hopefully you guys didn't. And for the rest of you, I hope you had a good Christmas with your families. I hope that was a good time for all of you. It was for us. So anyway, here's to another year, I guess. But let's get this bitch started. Other than that, I don't think we have any announcements. So if you're listening for the jingle, it's been playing. I mean, holy shit, get baited, scammed.
The announcement podcast, yeah.
We have timestamps, by the way, so if you're mad and you're new that you listened to all that, you could have just skipped it all. But you didn't. I don't know. listen. I mean, I didn't say it, but you'll figure it out. Or you won't. Or you just figured it out because I told you. Idiot new listener. Spit gift.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome, boys and girls, to Dropshot, episode 290. So as we said in the announcements, really not much going on this week, which we expected. The devs are hungover probably still from their 2 weeks off or 2 months or however long they get, which is entirely too much time off. So the game wasn't changed. Our first section of the podcast is normally patch notes changes already in effect. And we got one thing, which is Christmas shipment, which we got a while ago, but I don't know if we ever announced that officially, but in case you guys didn't know, whatever. But also, we did get something yesterday, the 28th. Tier 1 shipment 24/7 is live, aka hardcore shipment 24/7. So that's
that sounds awful.
That's all that changed. Now, this does sound terrible unless I'm going for Orion and I need to do the Riot Shield still. Then this sounds fantastic. I think there are probably a select number of challenges where you are happy about this. If you haven't done your Riot Shield yet, I strongly encourage you guys to get active on Tier 1 Shipment 24/7, which is currently live. I will add, by the way, I've seen in Discord and in some YouTube comments that even in Core, after the Riot Shield nerf, it's still, quote, not that bad. That's what I've been told by everyone who's commented about it, which I don't believe. I can't imagine having to 3-hit someone and saying it's not that bad. So I don't know.
Yeah, sounds like copium to me.
It sounds like cope, or these people's threshold for pain and misery and monotony is just way higher than average. I don't know what's going on there. Yeah. But that seems insane. And you were telling me, I think even in Tier 1, it's still a 2-hit kill. Is that correct?
It is a 2-hit. Yeah, so I don't think this would be worth playing over Core at that point. With a 2-hit,
that's actually hard to say.
For how much faster the time to kill is, and you'll get team killed, especially on shipment, I don't think this would be any faster. I think I would rather do the Riot Shield and Core. I don't know, though. I have a brain. We told you guys before the game launched, do those weapons first, and we did them first, and they were done with first, so we don't have to actually test it. And I wonder if what was the last Riot Shield challenge that was like bugged? I wonder if behind kills are still bugged, because we just got 10 kills and we got that done.
Yep. God,
I wonder if they changed that yet. Imagine having to get kills from behind with a double or triple kill now. Yeah, holy shit. Wow, it's crazy. It's like you guys should have listened to us. Oh well, get fucked, I guess.
Yeah.
Don't feel bad for you.
Yeah. You can hit faster with the Riot Shield now? I don't recall seeing that in the patch notes. Maybe you can, though. That would offset the nerf, obviously.
The thing is, though, is like what I was talking about is once you get hit, once that second hit is coming at you, most people are reacting by then and like turning around, and you're going to die quicker generally. So, yeah. Even if that's the case.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I haven't used it and I never will because I have Orion, by the way. I have Orion. So I'll never use a Riot Shield again, ever. But maybe it roughly evens out. But anyway, regardless, whatever.
Surely.
Tier 1 shipment 24/7 is in, and that is it. So now on to news and upcoming changes. Again, no news, no upcoming changes coming from the development studios. But I did curate just a couple little things here. And this is going to be a record-breaking shortest podcast ever, by the way. What were you trying to press, man?
Trying to press mute.
Oh. But yeah, I did curate a couple things over the past week, new developments around Call of Duty that I wanted to talk about today. So first is sim.gg. Tanner and I have talked about this website a lot. It is a website you can go to, sym.gg, where you pick Modern Warfare 2, and then you pick a gun, so the RAL or the RPK or whatever, and then it shows you a bunch of stats. So like how much damage it does if you shoot here, if you shoot there, at what distance, how fast does it ADS, yada, yada, yada. They had this for Warzone 1 as well, like pretty much every modern COD since 2019. And then they had it for MW2/Warzone 2, but only the base guns. They didn't have any attachments and those stats yet. And we have been very much waiting for them to add attachments, which they have done in the past week, which is huge. Now, unfortunately, although they did add attachments, they don't have any stats on how recoil is affected yet.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but you can't see if something helps recoil or by how much for any attachments. But there are a lot of things you can see. So for example, you can see how much ADS time you're gaining or losing with certain attachments. How much faster or slower your sprint to fire speed is, etc. And these things alone are incredibly helpful and good. And like how much bullet velocity you're getting and shit too. And damage range, which is really good. So there's still a lot of really good stats here that will absolutely help you refine your loadouts, particularly for Warzone. Also for multiplayer, I suppose. But I think the weapon stats and tools like this are just more useful for Warzone, I think. But
yeah. Oh, and one thing, so we're clear, when you go to sim.gg to look at the stats, you have to select MW2. It's in the top right and go to that gunsmith. Do not hit Warzone. They need to relabel it. They need to say it's for Caldera. Because it just says Warzone. I bet a lot of people are clicking on that thinking it's not there. That's for Caldera only. Hit on MW, and then in the bottom left, when you like select guns and stuff, there are different health totals, and there is one for Warzone health, and I think multiplayer must be there, I assume. I didn't even check, but that's how you find it.
Yeah, if you wanted to look at like TTKs and stuff. But keep in mind, the reason it's an MW2 is because the stats are the same. So like your RAL with those attachments is going to ADS the same speed in Warzone 2 or an MW2 multiplayer. So that's why that's good. So basically it looks like everything is there except for recoil stats.
I think they also said they're missing quite a few attachments.
That might be the case too, yeah.
I think they said that when they tweeted it out, but yeah, most of it's there.
Yeah. So we're already learning a couple things, and here are a couple highlights I wanted to point out. There's been discourse about the optics, what optic to use for Warzone, for like your RPK, for example. And it seems like the most common one right now is the AMOP V4, which is a reticle, and it doesn't zoom much. It would appear it doesn't zoom much, and it's a circle, and a bunch of people are using it. And some people were thinking it zooms a little bit, but not as much as like a VLK. So it's controllable amount of recoil and you're getting some zoom. Turns out that is not true. The AMOP V4 does not change your zoom level at all. So you're zooming in just as much as if you were using like iron sights. Some of you I'm sure probably already knew this. I'm sure many of you did not. So you might be thinking, oh, okay, well, in that case, the optic either doesn't zoom or it zooms 3.4x minimum like the Schlager. Wrong. There are some optics that give you some zoom, even though the game doesn't say it zooms in at all, by the way. It doesn't say there's any magnification, but there is. And these optics zoom even less than like the VLK. So for example, the Choreo Enforcer optic. This gives you -10 degrees field of view. In other words, it's zooming in an amount. I don't know how much, but you're losing 10 degrees field of view according to Sim, which means it is giving you some zoom. So this is an interesting stat because if you've tried to use a Schlager or a VLK and you feel like your gun has too much recoil and you can't control it, so you just go back to a red dot, you should consider something like a Choreo. And there are others that have the same amount of zoom, where it's a middle ground between a normal red dot and like a Schlager. So there are a number of optics that zoom the same amount as the Choreo. And you can, again, go to SimGG and look at those. I find this very interesting, and I think a lot of people are going to get benefit out of knowing that. Because even I was asking for an optic that is a middle ground between a red dot and the Schlager. And it turns out we always had one, or a couple, as it were, which I ended up using anyway. Before I just went all in on the Schlager, but that's really good to know. So I wanted to point that out specifically to you guys. And, that's the optic I think you've been using, right? The Choreo, Tanner? Are you still on that Choreo tip?
Oh yeah, I'm still liking the Choreo the best by far. Yeah, because it has a nice little zoom level to it. I think it was on one of the Patreon episodes I talked about the Choreo even more, but it's like the way you can use it too is you can aim down sight with it. It gives you a little level of zoom, and you can look at your surroundings. You can kind of zoom in. Let's say you're on a hill, you're looking down at like a little village or some shit. You're overlooking that. You can aim down sight and put your optic below what you're looking at. So you're getting a small level of zoom and you're seeing the area without being obstructed by your view. And like something with like, if you're using the VLK or the Schlager, you can't do this because it will stay centered and zoom down right where you can't like down the actual optic. So you can't look over the optic. Yeah. So you end up really having a way smaller field of view because of that reason when you're zoomed in, because you're just stuck looking right down the middle. So that's one of the big things. That's the reason I really like the Choreo, and it's got a great reticle on it. It's a nice optic. There was a very similar one in MW19 that I liked a lot too. Didn't use it a whole lot, but I think right now that's my favorite optic in Warzone is that Choreo. So yeah, it's got a nice the perfect little zoom level to it in my opinion.
Yeah. And there are a lot that have that zoom level, by the way. So if you can also like bezel reticle shop too. So like the Lone Wolf is another one, which is the one I preferred over the Choreo. Yeah. That zooms just as much as a Choreo. That -10 field of view. -10 degrees field of view. There are like 5, I think. There's a lot. So you can go look at the website and then use the firing range, pick whichever reticle and bezel combo works for you. And again, you'll get some zoom, but not as much as a Schlager, and I think that's going to be helpful for a lot of you guys, so look into that. And for reference, the Schlager is -16 degrees field of view, so it zooms in 60% more than a Choreo, but the Choreo is, whatever, -10, whereas like the aim op is nothing. There's no change to field of view. So
and then it seems like the VLK is hardly different than the Schlager, by the way. I think it's a 2-degree difference.
Say that again?
From the Schlager.
The VLK is -18. Yes,
yeah.
And the Schlager is -16. Yes. That's correct.
Yeah. So, again, though, for these differences, even from the Choreo to Schlager, I don't think it's worth the added visual recoil on. For me personally, it's too hard to control. I just prefer the Choreo still.
Yeah, and we
I think
talked
that's the best
about that
optic.
in our last Patreon episode. I feel like it is worth it. But yeah, this is just a personal preference thing, and you guys should experiment with those things. But I thought that was really interesting, and that's one of many reasons, especially once Sim is done, that I'm going to be glad that that website exists. Most of what I was interested in, though, honestly, was recoil stats, particularly underbarrels and hip fire accuracy. Because I'm not kidding. There are like 5 to 8 underbarrels that all give you the same pros and cons. And the bar in the bottom left for recoil control or whatever moves the exact same amount for all of them. So it is impossible to distinguish what the difference is between the Pineapple and like the Merc foregrip, for example. Everything on paper is the same. But they obviously, well, maybe not that obviously. Maybe it doesn't do anything different, actually. Maybe they're the same effect also, although I doubt it. So that's what I'm really waiting for with Sim, is to get that data. Which one helps your recoil the most? While ADS versus which one helps like your hip fire accuracy the most. That's what I'm really waiting for.
Same.
But in the meantime, this optic data is really nice, particularly, again, how much zoom you're getting.
Yeah, I'm excited to see these muzzles too, but I wonder how they're going to make it work with all of the tuning, if that's ever going to be implemented either.
That's a good question.
I wonder. I mean, that will be the last thing they do. They'll get all the attachments done, and then they would probably go back and do tuning, if anything.
If they never did tuning, I would be okay with it. That would be enough info.
See, but the thing is, like, some of the attachments, like some of the muzzles that say they only do horizontal, when you go to tune them, there's a tune for kick control, which is supposed to be like vertical. So it's obviously doing vertical too, but it only says horizontal. So it's like, I don't know. That's why I want to see also the tuning, to see if maybe it actually does nothing, but then you tune it and then you can tune for vertical for some reason, even though it does none by default.
Yeah,
I don't know,
weird.
man. It's so confusing.
It would be nice.
Super confusing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird. Thanks, Infinity Ward, for fucking not putting stats in, because that would confuse people, all right? Fucking idiots.
Yeah. It's a lot less confusing when 5 attachments say they do the same thing. That helps me more. Smile. So, anyway. But anyway, yeah. Check out SimGG. Really helpful tool. And was very happy to see those things. And then one other thing I wanted to talk about. There are 2 things in the same vein. The time to kill in Warzone 2. So first is a little poll that Charles Intel made. And the poll
Chuck Intelligence, yeah.
This was 2 days ago the poll started. There were 110,000 votes. And the question is, should the TTK, time to kill, in Warzone 2 be option 1, increased, decreased, or stay the same? And gladly, and I'm happy to report, the vast majority of players voted for increased. 56% wanted increased, so it takes more time to kill people. 20% trolls are saying decreased, that they want the TTK to be faster. And then 23% are saying stay the same TTK. The TTK is fine. That, with 110,000 votes, 56% of people wanting the time to kill to be slower, that is, I don't know how I feel about that. Stay the same being an option is a monkey wrench, I think. But that is like the vast majority of the votes getting increased. What are your thoughts on this?
The other thing is, he does not explain what that means. I guarantee you literally 10,000 or so of these votes are for people choosing the wrong thing because they get like increase versus decrease messed up. Because there is no reason decrease should have even 20%. That should be 5%. It's just crazy. Yeah. So I think people think the opposite. He did not explain it. So this is a dog shit trash poll. Figure out your social media. That's your job, Charlie, until we know you can do it. So I would redo this for sure and make that little note, because so many casuals do not understand that difference, or they think about it real quick. They read that and they hit decrease instead of increase.
You're probably right.
That's the biggest thing for me. Because I don't know why anyone would want the time to kill even faster.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah, it seems wild.
That's insane to me.
It seems wild. So on that note, and obviously there's a selection bias of people who use Twitter and follow Charlie Intel. These are obviously, on average, much more high-skilled players than an average Warzone 2 player. And those people are obviously going to be more interested in a slower TTK. But on this topic, JGod made a video, which I will link in the absolute show notes. And the video was called... What was it called exactly? Warzone 1 versus Warzone 2 TTK. How fast is it? 7-minute little video. He had some data, some spreadsheets. And again, I'll link it so you guys can go watch it if you want all the context and all the details. Here's the TLDR, which is unsurprising to me. TLDR is the long range, medium/long range time to kill in Warzone 2 as compared to Warzone 1 is about the same in general. However, guess who's going to be surprised by this? Close range TTK in Warzone 2 is significantly faster than the close range TTK of Warzone 1. And no one was surprised by that.
Yeah.
So he brought a bunch of data and demonstrated what we all kind of knew to be true, which is that up close, you just get deleted in this game right now. I am a little surprised that the long range TTK is about the same as Warzone 1. But when I think about it, I'm actually not, because actually in practice, the long range TTK is slower than Warzone 1. But it's because people are missing more shots. So obviously when he says long range TTK, he's talking about assuming like every shot lands. Then the long range TTKs would be about the same, but people are landing way fewer shots now than they used to in Warzone 1. So in practice, the long range TTK is actually slower in Warzone 2 than it was in Warzone 1. Because we've beaten this topic to death, but it's because people don't have 6x optics with no fucking recoil who never miss shots at any range.
Exactly.
And now they do. So that was a little surprising, but when I thought about it, I was like, okay, that makes sense. But yeah, close range TTK a lot faster than Warzone 1. And I am not at all surprised by this.
No.
Are you?
Well, and that's why recently I've been more hesitant to say, because, you know, all like the super sweats that are really good, but, you know, don't necessarily think everything through all the time. They're like, we need 50 extra health. We need 50 extra health. It's like, well, I don't know. It definitely feels more complicated than that. And it is. And that's going to be an issue for them, unfortunately, because now they're going to have to work on nerfing a bunch of guns. And that's going to take a lot more time. It's going to be more difficult. And I don't know how they do it. I don't know how it's like, where do they even start? Yeah. You can't just do like a flat change. You can't just press some button that says increase the time to kill up close. Like, that doesn't work. They have to go through every gun and nerf them, and it's going to be a pain in the ass, and it's going to take forever.
Yep.
But that's what I've been saying, is that the long range fights feel amazing in this game. They feel great. I love them. I love the long range gunplay so much more than Warzone 1, because you have to use these shit little reticles and try to track people and shoot people, and time to kill is nice. It's perfect. But then you get up close and it's just like literally no reaction time. There's an inhuman reaction time before you're just dead half the time. So it's really frustrating. I mean, one thing for sure they can change that's really easy is get rid of the ridiculous, insane 2 and 3 plate vests. Make them all 3 plate vests.
Yeah, of course.
Like we talked about a while ago. If you make a different vest, or make the same vest you have in the game right now, but that become tempered and it's 2 plates that have more armor for each or something.
Yes.
And make them a little more rare.
Yeah.
That'll change some of the time to kill up close, like early on, but you know, even once you're fully plated late game going up against like a meta, you know, Vector or something, I don't know if you can tell a difference between 2 and 3 plate vest anyways. It's still so fast. So
yeah,
I don't know what they're going to do. They're in for a lot of work there trying to figure that out. Again, I don't know how this wasn't realized at some point during the testing in the last year playing this game. No one ever thought, oh boy, you sure do die really fast up close, but at range it feels fine. Brain dead. Yeah. Every year, just brain dead. I don't get it.
This is a point you made, I think it was on Patreon, where because I had been originally advocating for, like you said, oh, just add like 50 health like they did for Warzone 1. That'll fix it. But you're right that it won't be that simple, because then you're making the long-range gunfights, which are already in practice a slower TTK than Warzone 1, be a lot slower than Warzone 1. And you would have to really fucking work to kill someone at like 75 meters if we added 50 health. That would be really hard. So I don't think that's actually the solution. And I don't know how much 50 health would help up close TTK. It still might be too fast. It probably wouldn't be, but it might be. So I think you're right. The solution is harder than just adding 50 health, because you don't want to ruin long range gunfights. So one proposal I had, which I think could help, although I don't think this would be quite enough, is really make the multipliers dog shit for pistols and SMGs unless you're hitting neck, head, or upper torso. Because then the practical TTK close range will go down a lot. If like the multiplier for a stomach shot is like 0.4 or some crazy shit, and like limb shots it's like 0.2, you know, that's obviously exaggerating, but if you did that, then you would not have a really fast TTK unless you were hitting all upper chest and head, or mostly that. And what else that would do is it would really add some dimension of skill gap to these close range gunfights, where if we're playing heads up and we start shooting each other at the same time, I'm hitting your neck and you're hitting my stomach, I'm going to easily win because, and I should be, I get rewarded for like having the better aim or whatever. I think that could be maybe enough or maybe almost enough, but I think that would be a great place to start because it would keep the long range gunfights feeling the same because people aren't using pistols or SMGs at long range, and the health would stay the same. So we would keep the health of what feels like a pretty good long range TTK, and then we'd also be creating a skill gap up close, number one, like incentivizing and rewarding aiming at critical areas on the enemy, and lowering the TTK. Raising the TTK up close, because you're not going to hit headshots in upper chest every single shot, especially with things like a Fennec or akimbo pistols. You can't hit like all upper chest. You can get super lucky once in a while, I guess, but like that would dramatically, I think, decrease the TTK up close in a really good way. I think that would be the best solution, but even then, I don't know if it would be enough. TTK might still be too fast. But then we could continue to iterate from there. I think that would be the best place to start, though.
So on that note, looking at Sim, just taking a quick peek, there are some very easy changes they can do with the SMG to slow down the time to kill. To start with, they all seem to have insane headshot multipliers. The Fennec, according to my math, if I did it correctly, has almost a 1.6 headshot multiplier. That's entirely too much for an SMG.
That's insane, yeah.
I mean, it does the same. It does one less headshot damage than the TAC 56, and the TAC 56 is like a 1.2 multiplier. So it's like, why was that?
Yeah, that's weird.
Why is that the case? So that's number weird. One. That's very obvious.
That's extremely obvious. Yeah.
Even so, like the RPK does 52 headshot damage. What does the RAL do? I feel like it's similar.
Fucking 70.
Jesus Christ, RAL does 62 headshot damage.
The RAL.
So they can start with that across the board. The headshot multipliers, which Raven did a lot towards the end and middle of Caldera, they decreased a lot of those multipliers that were like anywhere from 1.4 to 1.6. They dropped those to like 1.2, 1.3, even 1.1 on a lot of guns, I think. So that could be actually something fairly easy they could do right away for a lot of guns. But yeah, the issue with not just adding 50 health across the board is they're going to nerf some of these guns like the Fennec. It's going to get gutted, and then there's going to be another SMG that they didn't nerf and didn't think about, and then that's going to be that much better than all of the other SMGs still, and then it'll again take 2 weeks for them to change that one. That's like kind of what happens when it goes to just like, instead of just adding 50 health, is they have to worry about all that. So it's going to be a disaster. Gun balance won't be in a good spot till, as we said before Warzone launch, till probably March, and that's become very obvious now.
Unless Raven really is taking over and gets to be in charge of all the weapon balance, I could see a huge... If Raven is like as in charge of Warzone almost as they were at like when Cold War launched, I could see Season 2 having just a giga fuck ton of weapon balance changes like Raven often did with Warzone 1.
Yeah, that's
addresses
true.
a lot of problems. I don't know if they will. I'm not confident, but it is possible.
Dude,
but if it's Infinity Ward, then yeah, we'll get one nerf at a time every new season, and then Warzone 2 will be balanced right when Warzone 3 is coming out. Smile.
The TAC V does 76 headshot damage.
Damn,
Jesus
really?
Christ. A fully auto gun that can have a 50 round mag does 76 to the head. And that's also a 1.55 multiplier, same as the Fennec.
Full auto stats on Sim? Because they might be showing you the semi-auto stats on it.
How do you change that?
I think you can. I think there's an option somewhere.
But
I would assume that's the
Does the TAC V have semi-auto? I don't even remember. I thought the TAC V was only fully auto. No, it's a battle rifle.
Or yeah, battle rifle, yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think it's I think that's full auto by default, so that should be what they're showing.
Yeah, I think it is maybe. I don't remember. I know it has semi, yeah. I don't know what it is by default,
I don't see
though, actually.
how to change it on here. Maybe that's something they haven't added in yet, if it's the case. Or I'm just not seeing it, but anyways.
Either way, that's a lot. Yeah. But
yeah, I'm not seeing an option for that. But yeah, so there's number one. All the guns have entirely too much headshot damages. And hey, look how big of an issue that was in Caldera and Warzone 1 in general, and it took them 1.5 years to start making those changes, and now we're just back to square one again.
I don't know if ARs having good headshot multipliers is that big of a deal, to be honest. I feel like LMGs should have like a higher multiplier than ARs, though.
The Rouse is definitely too high, though, for a gun that's easy to control still. That's too much damage to the head. TAC V actually almost makes more sense, even though it does more damage, because that's more difficult to control than the RAL. But
okay,
yeah, to start with is for sure those SMGs. They don't need that high of headshot multipliers at all.
Yeah,
pistols probably
pistols, but
no, yeah, I don't know what those have, but
yeah, and plus, like J-Kid in chat just said, with the recoil in this game, the vertical recoil, you are getting free headshots aiming center mass for sure. And like, do you want to like add like a 1.7 multiplier to that? It's like maybe not, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think tweaking the multipliers for pistols and SMGs would really help the close range health of the game, like significantly.
So P890 is also a 1.55 headshot multiplier, so 96 damage to the head. But I don't know how they're calculating that. That may be because I have Akimbo selected. That may be firing, I guess, both bullets at the same time.
Can you unselect Akimbo and see?
Let me see. It still says it does 96.
Yeah, that's insane.
So if you're hitting 2 headshots with an Akimbo, that's almost 200 damage. Jesus Christ. Wow, so shocking. Why is the time to kill so fast up close? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Exactly.
COD devs, by the way. Holy shit.
So the good news about that, the good news and the bad news. The good news is, if they're aware that if they agree that the close range time to kill is too fast, and that this is why, then Raven could easily change these things. Like, they change multipliers all the time, especially Raven did all the time, and like they were always correct. So when they put out like a season reloaded patch, they'd be like, oh, we changed the multiplier of the AK-47 from 1.43 to 1.41. That means if you get like 2 stomach shots and like a headshot, that used to be a down, but now it's not, or whatever. So like Raven's really good about weapon balance. So if Raven's in charge and they agree TTKs are too fast, and they agree this is how they should remedy that, which I think they would. I think Raven would be smart enough to figure that out too. Then this is an easy change, and they would do it all by season 2, actually. But who knows? Who knows if they think the TTK is too fast? Who knows how in control Raven is for Warzone 2? And maybe they just want to flat nerf the damage rather than the multipliers, which I think would be a mistake.
Yeah, but
so we'll see. But if they agree that that's the problem and the solution, it's a very easy fix. There's the silver lining. And Raven, I think, is smart enough to recognize that would be the play. It seems that way to me.
Yeah, but that's not going to be their priority, I don't think. They're still going to be working on bug fixes, making the game run at more than 90 frames, making AI not one-shot you. So that's the other thing we talked about early on, is like the weapon balance won't be good for a while because the game launched with so many fucking issues. It launched in a pre-alpha state that they have to now spend months backtracking and fixing all of those first before they should focus on weapon buffs and nerfs, unfortunately.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, good point. So maybe season 2, especially a brand new season, they're going to add a lot of new content. Yeah, so maybe season 2 Reloaded is like the earliest we can hope for. Which would still be, not infinitely far off, but not great.
So they'll probably do some things here and there. Like I said, they'll probably just nerf the Fennec, and then there'll be another SMG that's really good that goes
100%,
untouched.
100%.
So before they finally do some patch, after season 2, that's like an actual massive weapon tuning update. Yeah, because they usually actually give updates too. Like they'll say that they did that in Caldera with their patch notes. That they'd be like, at the start of season 3, there will be a massive weapon tuning overhaul. Yes. Look forward to that. And they follow
through. Yeah,
exactly. So they'll let us know at some point if that's coming or not, or when that's coming, I should say.
But this is all contingent on Raven having the authority to do these things, and we're not like 100% sure that's true yet. So
yeah,
if Raven's in the tweaker seat, if Raven's the mechanic over there, then I think I'm pretty optimistic. But
yeah,
we're not 100% sure yet. I think by season 2 we'll find out. Basically, season 2 is going to come out, and we'll see if we got patch notes or not. And if we did, then we'll know, like, okay, let's fucking go. Raven's back, baby. Thank God. But if we don't get patch notes, we get a blog post and then a patch note that says there were 3 bug fixes. Meanwhile, there's 8 new guns in the game that just aren't talked about anywhere on CallOfDuty.com or InfinityWar.com. Then we'll know, okay, cool. Raven, I guess, is still, I don't know, doing whatever. So we'll find out.
Well, iDub did say in that one blog post that Raven was in control of the comms at least. So at least we know we'll be getting patch notes from here on out for Warzone.
Point. Yeah. So we'll have more info on that as the days roll by. But so in the meantime, my advice for you Warzone players is stay the fuck away from other people. If you can aim your gun fairly well, you have a way better chance at shooting people farther away than up close. Because up close, like, best case scenario, you catch them by surprise and you just win automatically. And then if it's a heads up gunfight, best case scenario, it's a coin flip. And if you're really good, why coin flip when you can win 90 out of 100 times just by, like, not taking the building, you know?
Yeah.
So just actually stay away from people. That's my advice.
I do great when I stay away from people. Yeah, when we're barking at people at range with the RAL, I'm doing great every game.
Yep. And again, we talked about this on, I think it was in our last Patreon episode. I'm doing very well in Warzone 2, but it's because I am terrified of getting close to people. I just choose not to do it. And then it's great because then there's like gun control and, like, positioning and aiming and, things like that. So anyway, anything else you want to discuss, Tanner?
Nope.
All right. So that's it, guys. As we said, light in the ass episode today. I mean, nothing really from Activision to talk about except hardcore shipment smile. But the sim update was interesting. The TTK video was interesting, and that poll. And a reminder, if you wanted to watch JGod's video with all the spreadsheets pulled up and shit, that's linked in the show notes or description if you're on YouTube. And that is that. So we will see you guys on Saturday for a premiere of a nice little Q&A ep. And following that, we will talk to you guys next week. Reminder, if you want our schedule every week, follow us on Twitter at the Dropshot Pod. You can also join the Discord, which is linked below. You can go to thedropshot.com to find links to everything as well, if that's easier for you, which it will be. Website still under construction, but we'll keep you guys posted on that. Although it's functional, so you can go there. And last and most importantly, if you wanted to support the show, if you wanted bonus content, if you wanted to ask us questions exclusively, hangouts monthly and more, patreon.com/thedropshot, the best way to support the show. Thank you all for watching and listening. Have an excellent evening. Stay humble.
Happy New Year. Stay humble.